Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. In today's Skyrim mod video on PS4, this is going to be different from what I normally do. This is more of just a laid-back video, talking with you guys on my channel. I don't know how entertaining this is going to be honest, but I thought I'd make this because I've gone over from time to time what I've done to keep myself safe when testing various mods throughout the years, making showcases for you guys. And I thought I'd cover, for those that might be interested that would want to know, my changes to what I'm doing now since the massive corruption that I got that has corrupted all of my save files that are still corrupted ever since testing that one mod. So I'm going to be going over, for those that haven't seen previous videos, because my original method did work for me for many years and probably still would have if not for what happened. So I'm going to be going over that. I'm going to then go over what led to my corruption and the conclusion that I've come to, that really it was something that was going to be unavoidable because of these recent mods, and the steps that I'm now taking to be able to try to protect my character so that I can continue to do what I love, which is checking out new content from the modder community of Skyrim, testing them, and making showcases for you guys. So, first of all, I do notice that we have some new subscribers to the channel. It's gone up. So for those of you that are newer, welcome to my channel. I hope that you can find something here to help you or give you some enjoyment. This character is the only character that I've ever had. This is still his original playthrough. Damn wolf. Still his original playthrough on his original saves. And that consists of, his saves consist of the original prisoner save, 3 auto saves that update every time I go like in and out of an interior, fast travel, so on and so forth, and 1 manual save that I would just call my safe save, that I had made at a time that everything in my load order had been thoroughly tested, I knew I could trust it, and that I could revert back to that save if need be to reverse ill effects from mods. And that had always worked for me. Using that method, I've been able to do this for many years now, during the massive breaks of patch 120 and 121, when so many people had issues so many ways. That kept me safe. I've had 0 KB from testing a mod after 0 KB was supposed to be fixed. I've had mods that completely fucked up all of the written text in game, to where like when going to a building and you should see like it says breeze home, it instead would be a bunch of boxes, and no, it was not because I'd installed a mod that was for a different language. I've had mods that add in visual effects permanently that weren't supposed to in the areas. I once had clairvoyance running through Whiterun constantly, even though I wasn't casting it, couldn't get rid of it. My time being permanently sped up to where I could not revert it back to a normal time, even though there was supposed to be a spell to do so. I have a similar mod now that I can fast forward time, but it actually works. The list goes on and on for the issues that I've had from mods over the years, and by doing what I did, which was always reverting my save back to the point before the mod was installed, it had always worked. I'd never had any lasting negative effects that impacted my game as the way that I recently have. So recently I had broken my own rule because I had been doing so many different tests and showcases for videos, and several of the port mods that were recent ones did not function correctly when I would test them out. And that's not to say, because I know I get some people, some mod authors, I won't name names, that want to criticize me for saying that, and like to point out the fact that mods that we've had in the past also do that, and I don't dispute that. Yes, we have mods in the past that messed up too. Modding is uncertain. but never to the extent that a lot of these have been. So I've had to revert my save a lot more often in trying mods out, seeing if they would make for good showcases to do for you guys. And I had tested a mod I was very satisfied with, Wonders of Weather PS4. It worked perfectly fine in game, and every time I had to revert, I had to go in, get a bunch of different spells that I had since had for quite a while, because that's how old my revert save was. And different characters. I had to take things from Serana so that she would not counteract the mod that I had to stop her from using necromancy. That was all thanks to mod author RL Cool J that he created for me, which I'm very grateful for. And various things. And I was getting tired of having to do that. And because I had been using, not as long as I should have, but had been using Wonders of Weather and had no ill effects in game, and I still don't. In game it runs perfectly fine. I decided to break my rule and update my save at that point. And at the time, everything seemed fine. Until I decided that I was going to take and run some comparison shots, and I needed to shut it off in order to get accurate footage for the comparison shot so that it would not be affecting what I was trying to show. And this is something I've done for years. It's something I've done since the corruption, and I know how to do it. But I found that turning the mod off corrupted all my saves, because the mod is in all of my save files. And the reason for that is because, again, at that time, I only had the prisoner save, which does not have any mods in it, but I don't count as being my save because that's all the way back at the beginning of Helgen, before Alduin ever even shows up. So it's basically the same as losing the character, losing everything that he's gone through all these years, his family, so on and so forth. Those 3 autosaves and that manual save, which the mod was a part of. And I eventually traced back that it was that mod, and found that, thankfully, by re-enabling it, the corruption goes away, and the saves then are usable. But my saves now are completely dependent. This character is completely dependent on Wonders of Weather. If I don't have it enabled, I can't use my saves. They are corrupted. So, due to that, I've had to change up how I would do my saves and my testing. Not by much, just by a little bit, but I'm going to go over that here with you guys, as to that way if any of you have had the same issue, I don't know that it'll work for you. In the case of Wonders of Weather, I lucked out that the mod in game runs perfectly fine, at least in my experience, and that simply re-enabling it fixes the corruption and allows it to go ahead and play. It doesn't fix it because, I mean, the saves are corrupted, but it allows it to run with it, where if it's disabled, then the corruption comes back and the saves will not load. I can't use any of them. So, the reason that I only have so many few of saves is because I never allowed, originally before the Creations update, there was a shared allotted space for mods, CC content, and save files of 1 gigabyte. And if you went over that cap, then on PlayStation at least, you would hit 0 KB. That's why so many people, back when the Anniversary Edition first came out, even if they didn't have a lot of, say, CC content, they might have had multiple different characters with multiple different saves of that character, and all that, you know, shared together, they would hit it. And Bethesda finally supposedly fixed that, although I still don't trust that they have, which is why I don't allow my saves to go past what it is, and I've only altered that slightly. But in any case, that's the reason why I have so few saves, and it kept me from hitting 0 KB. I actually had never even heard of it until the Anniversary update, when everybody else had the issue, and I was trying to help people with issues that I'd never had in doing research and finding solutions. And definitely the community and members of the community, like Omega Fraz Gaming, who was a mod beta tester and was with me in the comments just as much back then, helping people, and the mod authors like Cyan49, RL Cool J, Be Very Ave, was a very big part of that help. Anyways, getting back to what I was talking about. So, what I've done now to change it up, because I have to consider the fact that with these more recent ports, it's more difficult now to tell when a mod might end up causing trouble, might cause issues, and could cause me to lose this character. Again, the only character I've ever had. I've only ever played through his story the initial time, and I pretty much, just continue doing what I'm doing here, just kind of wandering around and exploring. Any case, for the fact that the saves are corrupted and dependent on that mod, and knowing that it could happen again, because in the past you could pretty much tell if a mod didn't function correctly, and then I'd take the steps to revert it and not have an issue. But with Wonders of Weather, since I wouldn't have known, and that's something I want to go over, I believe this was inevitable because of the fact that, yes, I did make that safe save sooner than I should have. However, for the fact that it runs perfectly fine in game, I would have eventually anyways, because I trusted it. Oh, haven't seen him in a while. But because I trusted it. And so eventually, later on, and possibly after having a bunch of other mods in there and making it harder to find that that was the cause, I would have had the same issue. And that's the thing. Mods that maybe are going to go ahead and function okay in the game could cause this to happen. And with Wonders of Weather, that I can have it enabled and play is fine. But the more corruption that builds up in these save files from mods like that, eventually I'm not going to be able to recover the character, and it's going to cause me to lose him. So what I need to do now to be able to trust that I can revert in an emergency if I need to, and still be able to update my manual save to where if I get a bunch of new stuff that I do want to keep, that I don't have to go all over the place picking it back up, is I'm still going to have, of course, my prisoner save. I don't really count that, but my prisoner save and my 3 auto saves that the game just does for me. I never use a quick save, also, just to let you know. But instead of having one manual save, I'm going to risk, and for me it's a lot, but it's not, but because I've only ever done one, I'm going to risk having 3 manual saves, 2 of which are my emergency saves. All my saves are still completely dependent on Wonders of Weather. I want to make that perfectly clear. So my save files are corrupted. There's no getting around that. I've tried. I cannot reverse the corruption. But this corruption, with the mod enabled, I'm still able to play. So the 2 emergency saves I will not allow to be updated past the point that I made them, which when I originally found the corruption and I deleted my save, which is why I came close to losing my character, because then each of my autosaves was corrupted as well, and luckily that last autosave, I got the idea, and I found that by re-enabling it was okay. The other 2 saves are made at the same time as the current manual save. And what I've done is, for those that know how I make my manual save, which is in Whiterun Field over by that modded building, the Day Spa, I still do that for my main one, and that will be updated from time to time. However, in changing up, now whenever I test a mod, whether I'm going to keep it or not, and before I decide to upload it to make a showcase for you guys, I 100% let it save in that save file. I do not update my manual save, but I then go in, I disable it, and I check to see, do I have corruption? I load the other autosaves in there, and I check to see, do I have corruption in them? I load then back to the manual save, which it's not a part of, and so shouldn't have corruption, but again, just to be on the safe side, do I have corruption? And so far, I haven't. I've only ever had it from Wonders of Weather, and I've tested a lot of mods since that corruption. So when I know that I don't, then I count it as being safe, and I put a thumbs up by it. The other 2 saves, the what I call emergency saves, to revert back to if something happens that my manual save that I occasionally update does become corrupted again. They're not in the same spot. One of them has been put into Breeze Home's interior. Now, normally I would not recommend saving an interior like that, because at least in my case, a lot of the times when I try to load, when I load the game and I'm in Breeze Home and I try to go out to Whiterun, it will crash on me. But I have a mod in Breeze Home that adds trap doors to each of the vanilla homes, so like Honeyside, Proudspire, so on and so forth, as well as all the Hearthfire homes, and even over to Solstheim. So, from the interior of Breeze Home, if for some reason I find that I can't load outside where my manual saves at, I can go into those house doors, into that trap door, and go out to a completely different area. Over to, if I'm at Whiterun, I can go over to Riverwood. Or not Riverwood, excuse me, Riften. Go to Solitude, you know, wherever, Solstheim. That way, I can try to get around what perhaps might be the mod that's causing a conflict in that area and causing me to crash. And the other emergency save is over in Solstheim, not even in Skyrim. That way, if for some reason I cannot load anywhere in Skyrim, and for whatever reason I can't load in the interior of Breeze Home, maybe I have something that's causing massive issues over here, then hopefully I'll be able to load over into Solstheim. And, you know, there's no guarantee. Modding is uncertain. But it's just my thought process, the same as my other thought process that I've had over the years that's allowed me to do what I do. And so that's what I'm doing. Again, those two emergency saves, I am not going to update them. Yes, they are still reliant on Wonders of Weather, but they're only reliant on that. And by never updating them again, being as my character is way past the story, he hasn't played like the companions or things I didn't feel was right for him, but other than that, he's way past like the main story and all the DLCs and all that, and I mainly experienced new stories through mods with him. I don't have to worry that, well, I'm going to lose a bunch of that. But I'd rather lose a bunch of that than lose the entirety of the character. And then I have that manual save that, again, testing the mod, disabling it to make certain that I can load those saves, that it did not corrupt me like Wonders of Weather did. I then, and only then, update that manual save, and not too soon. I will not break that rule again. The mods in my load order must be thoroughly tested that they will run continuously perfectly fine in the loader. So that's the steps that I'm now taking to try to be able to continue what I'm doing with my character and not lose him. I hope that information might be helpful to you. I tried to explain it as best as I could. I'm not the best at doing this. But in any case, I hope the video wasn't too boring. I hope it might be helpful to some of you. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. Take care.